Most Canadians know July 1st as Canada Day. However, in Newfoundland and Labrador, the day has an additional and much more solemn meaning. Here, it is also known as Memorial Day. It marks the anniversary of the first day of the Battle of the Somme and the fierce fighting at Beaumont-Hamel, France during the First World War. Conflict broke out in August 1914. The Newfoundland Regiment was quickly created, and its first recruits were soon sent overseas to become a unit of the British Army.
At about 9:15 a.m., 1st July 1916, the 1st Newfoundland Regiment attacked from St. John's Road Trench as part of the 29th British Division. As the Newfoundlanders advanced towards the opposing forces, there was a tree partway down the slope that marked the spot where the machine gun fire seemed to become particularly intense. As they walked into the hail of machine gun and artillery fire, it was said that many of them tucked their chins in, almost like they were walking into the teeth of a blizzard back home. The 1st Newfoundland Regiment would lose 86% of its effectives in less than a half an hour.
There was a call for duty, and a lot of Newfoundlanders answered that call. And, unfortunately, it was, resulted in a lot of people losing their lives.
801 went over. 68 Nancy Road was gone. Over 700. 364 later killed. 95 missing. And the rest of them.
I mean, those guys were going out, especially the Royal Newfoundland Regiment, was almost fully wiped out.
You remember all the Newfoundlanders that lost their lives during Beaumont-Hamel, and the great loss to the families.
It's really incredible. It's crazy to think that all this actually happened. I know we always get told about Beaumont-Hamel and how it's really symbolic for us, and in history class and everything we learn about it, but it's completely different actually being here and seeing it and living it. It's amazing.
Just to think of what they went through, and to know that they never got home, even though they were so brave and they did so much. It's just an honor to be there to say, I remember you. Somebody remembers you even after all this time.
In the early morning of July the 1st in 1916, Allied troops began their advance to open the Battle of the Somme in northern France. In what would become one of the bloodiest days of the First World War, more than 57,000 British and Commonwealth soldiers were killed or wounded. Near the village of Beaumont-Hamel, more than 800 of the Royal Newfoundland Regiment went over the top. Just 68 would answer roll call the next day. As the commander of the 29th British Division said, theirs was an assault that only failed because dead men can advance no further. It was a devastating loss that touched every family in Newfoundland, and one that would be felt for generations. Today, we remember the sacrifice of the boys from Newfoundland at Beaumont-Hamel, and that of all those lost in the Battle of the Somme. Lest we forget.
801 members of the Royal Newfoundland Regiment were on the front lines of the Battle of the Somme in the First World War. 733 of them were killed or wounded on the first day of battle. That heavy loss and their sacrifice will never be forgotten. That is why July 1st in Newfoundland and Labrador begins as Memorial Day, and the commemorative flower is the Forget-Me-Not. As Lieutenant Governor of Newfoundland and Labrador, and as Honorary Colonel of the Royal Newfoundland Regiment, I salute our veterans and those who paid the ultimate sacrifice. In 2018, I had the privilege to participate in the Trail of the Caribou pilgrimage to France and Belgium, and lay a wreath in their memory at Newfoundland Memorial Park at Beaumont-Hamel. The motto of the regiment is better than the best. That was and remains true today as the regiment celebrates its 225th anniversary. We will remember them.
A message from the Government of Canada.